Alright, y'all, it's your boy back again with another blackout video. And the Milwaukee Bucks just won the championship. And I said that if Giannis played, they was gonna win. Sorry about that. I'm a little on the tired side. But look, I was thinking about doing a video about Giannis, and I feel a little motivated to talk about him real quick. But it's not going to be really about him, but it's about something I like to uh, attribute to what I call good or great players, or all-time great players, or championship level players, or the kind of players I would want. So here's the thing. First of all, this nonsense about him not having a bag, I don't want to hear that shit. It's irrelevant. Can you play the fucking game of basketball? That's really what matters. And when you got his kind of motor and like physical gifts, that's why it's called the Greek freak. I mean, it's just, it's unreal what the hell he can do. And it's funny because I seen someone post this on Twitter, and I think I don't want to say it's accurate, but my God, they said he's Shaq on offense and Hakeem on defense, and I laugh. But I mean, you could kind of make an argument that he's got some similarities there. But anyway, let's talk about Giannis. First of all, I don't believe in this two-way player crap. You're just a player, and you either play poor defense or you play good defense. Simple as that. And there's no such thing as a two-way player to me. And Giannis does that. He plays very high level on both sides of the ball. And again, I've talked to you guys. I've made videos about Zion and Bi, and even recently talking about Zach LaVine and Vooch. And like I said, man, your star players gotta play defense. And not only do they have to play defense, but they have to be committed. They have to be fully engaged. You can't just sit back and not have them, just slacking off on D like that. It's not going to work. Those guys got to be, on it. And Giannis, every time he goes out there, he's playing defense and he's playing offense. He's not taking a break. He's working his body. Dude came into the league at 196. I believe he's 242 now. Insane. Huge. Freakish athletic ability, freakish length. You just don't find that too often in players. And, that's why I know a lot of people are like tripping about James Wiseman. James Wiseman got the potential to have those he's got those kind of measurables where it's like, wow. So whereas a team wouldn't take a James Wiseman, I would. But anyway, back to Giannis, man. Look, I want a complete game on the court. And despite his shooting woes, he's got a complete game. He does everything you could want from him. He's going to impact the game athletically on every level. He's going to go out there, dominate in the paint, and then he's going to take away the rim on the defensive side of the ball. And there were plays where I watched him guard the ball handler and the rim at the same time. Especially that one play where he guarded the pick and roll and he got booked, and then there was an alley-oop pass and he went and stopped Ayton. That kind of dedication, you can't, he worked to get to that point. Nobody can take that away from him. He worked to get to that point, just straight up. But we got people out here that's trying to discredit, because he have no skill. Look, man, for a nigga that ain't got some skill, he sure beat all the other skilled niggas. So what does that say? That means either your skills ain't as good as you think they are, or he's just straight up better than you. So when people like to sit here and talk about, he's just, I don't care how the nigga get 50 points as long as he do it efficiently. I really don't care. You can't stop him. So why does he need to do all this extra shit if you can't stop him? But, it I like players like Giannis, man. Length, intensity, effort. He's gonna do what he's got to do every single time, and he's not gonna stop till he wins. And he finally did it. And I don't want to hear about people were injured. Fuck that. That's a part of every playoff series. All right. I don't care. I do not care. You got to play. Who the hell is in front of you? That's the way this shit works. But like I said on Twitter, man, I don't think this is the end for Giannis. As far as a player, I think there's another leap he's going to take. He just seems like that kind of guy. It's like, here's where I fucked up in the finals. I don't want this to happen again. And he's going to work on it. You know what I'm saying? He's going to add to his game, and he's going to be even better. And he is officially a gatekeeper. He's officially a gatekeeper. For those of you who don't know, the gatekeepers are what I call the true MVPs. They're the gods of the league. Titles run through these guys. If you want a title, you got to beat these guys. Giannis, now Steph, Kawhi, KD, and LeBron. Those are the guys who the titles run through. And if you're not prepared to beat them, you're not prepared to win a title. And all this just did was legitimize the East and it legitimized the big man, which they didn't really need to be legitimized. Um, I always thought bigs were still in, even during the prime of Steph. I've never thought bigs were invalidated, but bigs are gonna have to be different. Bigs are just gonna have to be different. You're gonna have to be mobile along with your length. Okay, you're gonna have to be physically dominant and physically oppressive. That's exactly what Giannis did. And truth be told, even though they still play Brook Lopez, they could have got by if they had just benched Brook Lopez and just played Giannis at the five. And I think at some point in the near future, that's going to be what they're going to go to. They're going to go get another power forward and space the floor, and they're going to make Giannis play the five. And he will dominate doing that too. I like players like Giannis, man. I really do. And people talk about Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons got the potential to be like Giannis. It's just his motor ain't as high. If his motor was high like Giannis's was, Ben Simmons would be unstoppable. He don't have to, and let this also be a true. Ben Simmons don't have to learn to shoot if he plays the same way Giannis does. Giannis just showed you can go win a championship that way. Ben Simmons just has to be committed to what he is and what he isn't. And this is what Doc Rivers was saying about Ben Simmons all year. But now they're going to try to make him become a shooter and all that. He's going to have to be a shooter if he's next to Embiid unless they trade him. I'm just going to be honest. Because you can't pack the paint like they do. Giannis has Brook Lopez to space the floor, and he's got the size to play the five, so it works out for them either way. But I see a lot of people now talking about what Zion's got to do. What Zion's got to do. Look, man, Zion is physical, but Zion he does not have 6'10", 6'11" height. He's got all the power in the world, but he don't have that kind of height. And defensively, he'll never be able to guard people at the position they want him at. Centers will be too tall. Power forwards will be too tall. Some of them will be just as strong or close to him in strength. Small forwards on down will be faster than him. He's always going to have issues. He's never going to be what Giannis is in that vein. He's going to have to find another path, but he can make a path for himself. He doesn't have to be like this, but I see guys already on Twitter. Well, I hope Zion is watching this. Oh, I hope the Pelicans. This is the path. No, this ain't the path. This is not the path. I hope people understand what the fuck they just witnessed. Giannis is a MIP, two-time MVP, Depoy, Defensive Player of the Year, All-Star, and now champion and Finals MVP at age 26. If he died tonight, he's going to the Hall of Fame. I'm not saying want him to die. I'm just saying if he died, retired, whatever, he's going to the Hall of Fame. He's an all-time great already. Period. Period. In the discussion. And quite frankly, he's better than some of the power forwards that people have above him. I'm not going to get into that tonight. I'll say that for another day. But I would take him over some of the ones that's already in the Hall of Fame that people have over him. I'm just going to keep it 100. His resume is already better. And at the rate he's going, the sky's the limit for him. He broke through at age 26 on his own team. He broke through at age 26 on his own team. Now let's talk about his team real quick. First of all, let me make a funny joke real quick. Um, it seems like everybody that leads the Pelicans now wins the championship. So when Lonzo leaves and goes to Chicago, he's winning the championship. I just want y'all to know that. Because Drew won this year, AD won last year. So when Lonzo leaves, Lonzo is winning the championship. You heard it here first. But on some seriousness, let's talk about his teammates, mainly Chris and Drew. Let's start with Drew. Drew was inconsistent during the playoffs. He had some good games and some bad games, and that's okay. But he did what they needed him to do. He dug into the opposing other guards, and he made their life miserable. And when it was necessary, he contributed on the offensive end too. He didn't have to guard everybody. He just had to, secure the backcourt. And then whoever else was in there with them had to do their job to guard the other backcourt player. But they didn't need to shut them down necessarily, but they just need to play solid defense. As that pertains to certain other players like, on the Pelicans and um, Lonzo could guard one of the other players. And while Bledsoe had some okay defense, I don't think his defense was good enough to, make up or shift off of the other players so that they would have an advantage. If we go to Chris Middleton did a little bit of everything. He played defense, and even though he was a little inconsistent at times, he was more consistent than Drew as far as the scoring is concerned. He even had some games where he put up better numbers than Giannis, and in some games he closed. And that's okay for your number two guy. It's okay. Sometimes they will be called to close, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And, as this pertains to Giannis, you don't have to always have the ball in your hands and close the game. Sometimes you need to close the game on the defensive end, not necessarily offensive end, especially if one of your teammates is on fire or has it. But Chris Middleton was scoring from all over the court. He was being physical. He was winning his matchup a good portion of the time, and he was playing excellent defense. A three-way scorer who plays both sides of the ball and is your Robin, essentially. And I know we got certain people out there, certain analysts, that I'm not going to say their names, Perkins, who typically thinks that Giannis is Robin, but that ain't how that works. You know, Giannis is the true Batman. He is the true guy. But Chris is an amazing player. He does his job. He goes out there. He supplements the points that Giannis needs. Sometimes he might outscore Giannis, and that's okay. And he plays defense. He can guard multiple positions, and he knows his worth. He knows his job, and he's going to go out there and do it. Reason I want to talk about these guys is because we could talk about what Giannis did, and he's deserving, but he wouldn't have gotten this far without those two. If Drew Holiday had been replaced with Eric Bledsoe, they wouldn't have made it past Brooklyn. You got to build your team the right way. You got to know what your guys need, and you got to go out there and get those guys. Um, and kudos to Drew for winning the ring, man. You know, he went out there, showed his stuff. He deserved it. He earned it. He worked hard for it. He played his game. Nothing but love for him. I know last year he and I ain't gonna necessarily say Lonzo clash, but sometimes their games I don't think complemented each other when it needed to. And I think that was just, hey, them trying to figure things out and, work around Gentry and the front office and all that other stuff. But they got the Bucks are built mainly with three defensive pieces and they got the mega tank and Giannis, the gatekeeper. They got their guy, and then they went and got a support guy who can sit there and can match him at times in scoring. And they got a third guy who basically has to do all the dirty work, and if need be, he can contribute on the offensive end. If you want to look at the Pelicans, uh, they have Zion, Bi, and Lonzo, and they kind of follow that same track. The only difference is everybody on the Bucks plays defense. Defense is where they start. And until the Pelicans guys realize this, it's not going to work. And I've always told you, you're going to have guys out there that play defense, and one guy you can make it who don't play defense. For Milwaukee, that one guy is Lopez. Despite everything people say, he plays okay defense, but you could beat Lopez. You could straight up pick your matchup and beat him. But he's okay because they got such other, amazing defenders surrounding him. And that's the point I've been trying to make for the longest. Even with, Zach LaVine and Vucevic and the possibility of getting Lonzo, you got one of those guys got to step in and decide, hey, I'm going to play defense. You got to be committed to defense, man. Defense does win championships, but it does a lot more than that, too. Offense wins championships, too. You need a little bit of both. There's a little bit of both to get you further. And I can't remember a team in recent memory where they didn't have like a top offense and defense going into the finals, but maybe you guys will sit there and put that in the comment section if you know, but whatever. But when what I want you guys to think about, even if you're not just a Pelicans fan, you're a fan of another team, you gotta look at this team. Look at the Bucks because they're a small market team, and they went and won a championship. And look how they built this team, and look how these guys played. And then go back and look at your team and ask yourself, can my team do this or do something similar? Do they have a guy that'll come in and just dominate and take over a game from start to finish? Do they have the other two guys that know they're the other two guys, know their role, and are happy with it and are committed to doing what they need to do to win? Are they built with a purpose? Do they have a coach who is competent enough to make the necessary adjustments and do what they need to do to win? And I know a lot of people are going to get on Mike Budenholzer for some of his choices during the postseason, but he stuck to his guns. And sometimes you just got to stick to your guns, man. And I know Willie Green got hired as the Pelicans coach, but I'm wondering if he's going to stick to his guns at some point and put his foot down against Griff. But we know how that worked out with Stan, so I'm curious how that dynamic will work. But look at your teams, man. Look at your teams. Do they have a design or defined play style? I asked where the Pelican souls were or soul was this year. Don't know. What's going to be the Pelican soul next year? That's the question. Because it's more than just, hey, we got the players. They got to fit. They all got to have a single-minded purpose. And that team don't have any truly young guys. Every guy there is either in their prime or older. Hey, look at P.J. Tucker. They went and got him off the bench to come off the bench for them. And he was playing with Harden. He's like 34, 35 years old. Now he's a champion. They surrounded their guys with pieces that complemented and fit what they were trying to do, added the necessary toughness, and when shit hit the fan, they were like, we have been here already. Even though we hadn't been to the finals, we faced adversity. We're ready for anything. You got experience in Drew. Drew has played in this league for a long time. Of the three, he's the oldest. And so he was prepared to come in and do what was necessary. And I know he's getting like $160 million over the next 4 years. Damn it, he's earned it. He's earned it. Even though he was inconsistent, once you go and win that chip, you earned that, man. Giannis just re-signed. They earned it. And now Chris Middleton made a name for himself in this playoffs too, so he's going to get a lot more respect. So winning solves and changes a lot of things, man. It really does. And you know, with all the stuff that's going on with the Pelicans, let me not go in on the Pelicans. I'll just say this, man. They did it the right way. The Bucks did it the right way. And Giannis is an incredible player. He's a transcendent player. He's an all-time great player. He's a Hall of Fame caliber player. And this is just the beginning. Kobe challenged him to, win a championship, and he did it. And he had an opportunity to leave and go win elsewhere, but he decided, no, I'm going to stick it out here. And what happened? They got there. And people can say, well, they only, missed, possibly not even getting to this point due to a foot on the line by KD. But everything happens for a reason. And the inconsistencies of the Stars of Brooklyn, I'm not even sure they would have made it all the way to the finals. And even if they had made it there, I'm not even sure they would have won anyway, because you don't know who was going to be available. So, I just wanted to make a video to talk about Giannis. God, he does so much, man. He attacks, he rebounds, he plays defense, he can pass. He even knocked down his free throws tonight, man. Like, that's unreal. Unreal. Unfucking real. And even though he can't shoot, everyone else around him can shoot. And that's how it should be, man. You can have one guy on the court at all times that don't do one of the things that you need. But you can't have everybody on the court not do everything that you need or the things that you need, or you can't have two people that don't do the stuff. You need to have multiple people at all times that can do what you need. Otherwise, it's not going to work. I'm happy for Giannis. I truly am. And let me just say this. I'm so glad that this season is over with now because, hey, the Ball brothers may play. Well, Melo, they say, is going to stay in Charlotte to work on his game. But we might see Lonzo and Jello play in the Drew League. And who knows? But now we can actually start talking about the draft and next year, next season. So this is going to be interesting. I'm glad that the NBA season is over with. Let's get ready for next year. So I hope y'all have a good night. If you're a Bucks fan, hey man, celebrate for me, bro. Go out there, have a couple drinks, enjoy yourselves, party like there's no tomorrow, but be safe because of COVID and all this other stuff. Boy, Milwaukee was packed as shit. And that COVID going around, man, it would surprise me if a whole bunch of people pop up with that shit. I hope not, but if y'all do go out and party, even if you're not in Milwaukee, man, be safe. Please be safe. Safety above everything else. Have fun, but, drink responsibly and watch yourselves. But I hope y'all have a good night and enjoy yourselves. Peace.